Have you ever stopped and realized that almost everyone you know is tired? Like, deeply, structurally exhausted. We live in a world with self-driving cars, instant global communication, and medical breakthroughs that sound like science fiction. By all accounts, we should be living in a golden age of leisure, creativity, and connection. Instead, the average day feels like a high-stakes survival game. Housing is an unreachable luxury. Basic food costs feel like a monthly subscription to stay alive. And the baseline of global anxiety and depression is at an all-time high. But here's the thought that keeps a lot of us up at night. What if this isn't an accident? What if the world isn't broken? What if it's working exactly the way the people in charge designed it to? Let's look at the math of modern society. We have the technology and the resources right now to make life cheaper, cleaner, and vastly more enjoyable. We could build walkable communities, automate the most grueling jobs to give people their time back, and focus our global energy on collaboration. But the global systems we live under aren't designed to maximize human happiness. They are explicitly designed to maximize one thing: quarterly profit margins. The people who hold the true power, the mega corporations, the financial cartels, and the politicians who rely on them, have turned survival into a business model. They discovered a dark economic truth. A happy, content, and secure population doesn't consume nearly as much as a stressed, lonely, and anxious population. Think about it. When you are lonely, you buy things to fill the void. When you are stressed and working 50 hours a week just to pay rent, you pay premium prices for convenience, fast food, quick delivery, shortcuts to save your melting energy. Anxiety is highly profitable. If the system allowed us to just cooperate, share resources, and live comfortably without constant financial terror, the endless loop of maximum consumption would break. They don't want to solve the problem because selling you the temporary fix is worth trillions of dollars. But just imagine for a second how things could be if the blueprint was flipped. What if governments and global infrastructure were set up to prioritize human well-being over corporate stock prices? First, the cost of basic existence would plummet. If public transit, sustainable energy, and basic housing were treated as foundational human infrastructure rather than speculative assets for billionaires to trade, your baseline stress would vanish. Imagine a society where you don't have to sacrifice your mental health and every waking hour just to guarantee a roof over your head and food on your table. Without the constant background noise of financial panic, human culture would shift completely. Anxiety and depression would drop exponentially because people would finally have the time and mental bandwidth to build real, deep communities. We could work less, create more art, spend time with people we love, and actually cooperate to solve real problems. We could focus on making life enjoyable, not just doable. It is entirely possible from a resource standpoint. The tragedy is that the barrier keeping us from this world isn't a lack of resources. It's a lack of political and economic will from the top. Now, before we get completely lost in a utopian dream, we have to pause and look at the hard truth. It is incredibly easy to blame everything on a handful of corrupt politicians and greedy CEOs. But if we want a real conversation, we have to admit that it's not quite that simple. Even if you wiped away every corrupt system tomorrow, you cannot entirely erase the complexities of human nature. The uncomfortable reality is that world peace isn't just blocked by a corporate boardroom. Throughout history, there have always been individuals and factions who will choose power, greed, and dominance over cooperation. There will always be people who step in to cause harm, exploit others, or create conflict out of tribalism and ego. Total, uninterrupted harmony is a myth because humanity isn't a monolith. Managing a planet of 8 billion unique people with different beliefs, values, and cultures means friction is inevitable. You can't just build a perfect utopia and assume everyone will play nice. Security, defense, and keeping the peace require real, complex organization, and there will always be bad actors trying to break the system for their own gain. But acknowledging that the world can't be perfect doesn't mean we should accept how broken it currently is. There is a massive, wide canyon between a perfect utopia and the hyper-exploitative system we endure today. The point isn't that we can easily achieve absolute world peace. The point is that our current institutions are intentionally tilted toward the worst traits of humanity, greed and isolation, rather than our best traits, like cooperation and community. Governments could be structured to buffer us from financial wolves. Regulations could be written to ensure that the massive wealth generated by modern automation actually lowers the retirement age and shortens the work week for everyone, rather than just funding a third superyacht for an executive. We can build a world that is cheaper, less stressful, and far healthier for our minds without needing a flawless utopia. We just need systems that protect human dignity instead of treating human beings like lemons to be squeezed for every drop of financial fluid before being tossed aside. The world we find ourselves in can feel incredibly heavy, and it is completely valid if you feel anxious or frustrated by the way things are run. But remember, the systems around us were built by people, which means they can be changed by people too. Until then, the best thing we can do is refuse to let them completely isolate us. Build your own small communities, look out for the people around you, and protect your peace. Love as much as possible. With the limited time we have on this earth, let's use it helping others in need and spending time with the people we care about. Without love, this world would be a very, very dark place. If this perspective resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and leave a comment below. What's one change you think would make the world a genuinely happier place to live? Thanks for watching, and stay grounded out there.